JB, looks like a jacked up Corvette. You're up.
Yeah.
Rear bumper's almost eye level, but what are we looking at here, buddy?
This is a one-of-a-kind display that General Motors generated so people could really see an exploded view in 3D of how their cars were built. I think the thing that struck me mostly is how simple and straightforward the cars back in the era. Even people that are familiar with these cars may not have seen some of these details. For instance, if you look at the gas tank, it's all been completely restored, and then an access port built so you could actually see inside the tank. And
so yeah, that black, that's a float in the back.
Exactly.
And then you have a little sock over the intake
right,
there.
to keep the debris out of the pickup.
Right.
So that's filtered the gas in case there's something in the bottom of the tank. But every individual part has been color coded. So for instance, the straps are a different color such that you can see that clearly there's a difference. And from the layman's point of view, this is really incredible insight into the car.
Right.
Where a drawing or pictures or diagrams wouldn't do anywhere near as good a job as this does in terms of showing every single aspect of the car in the mechanical sense.
Yeah.
The rear end is even, the top's been cut off so you can see the work of the
ring gear there.
The ring gear and how it relates to the axle, and you see the little mini axles.
The little axles,
right?
the side shafts there.
Right.
Right.
Remember that Corvette morphed from the earlier versions, which are called straight axle cars.
Yep.
And this has an independent, so you can see the two different U-joints on each side.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's an independent, which by definition means it's, I believe it started in '63, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
so cars after that had a much more sophisticated suspension than the early cars, which were really based on truck chassis.
Yeah. Huh.
So Corvette and Chevrolet are kind of showing off here what they do. And a lot of this stuff would go unseen if you didn't do it this way. So this would go to a national show. It's a way of drawing interest
to me,
in the cars.
This particular model had the side pipes, which are
exactly.
The inside of the side pipes are there, and the outside is
right.
on the body here.
Right.
But I've just noticed the cross member in the frame here has these big holes in it.
Right.
For the standard exhaust, I think.
Exactly. Well, the chassis were made for a standard exhaust because there was no point to having two different chassis.
Right.
So this is the more rare of the two.
Right.
But there's provision for the straight through exhaust going through the chassis as well.
Yep. Wow. And there's the transmission gears.
Right. Really, it's fascinating to see all these things in cutaway and then color coded so you can distinctly see the differences even.
And with the mirror we can see into
the bottom of the engine.
Yeah.
Very clever the way it's been done.
Case. Yeah, there's the oil pickup tubes, and
this was restored by the Faber family, who's probably actually the most well-known early Corvette restorers in America. They've been doing it probably 40 or 50 years. And
so this was an existing display, I guess, that they
generated by General Motors
updated
in the day, and it survived somehow. And then it was bought, and then the Fabers restored it because they're uniquely qualified to know what all these things look like and do it properly using as many factory Chevrolet Corvette parts as was possible.
Right.
So you got really great representation of what these cars are supposed to look like.
It's a fascinating display.
Yeah. This is great for even a Corvette restorer because they may never have seen the car, even if you've restored a number of Corvettes.
There's so many parts that you never get to see.
No, you don't.
Broken
because
down.
they're color coded, you can distinctly see suspension parts and engine parts and fan parts.
Sure.
And see their relationship to one another. It's really incredibly well thought out.
Well, this is cool. So let's talk about where we are, because some people would like to know that as public, they could actually come and have a look at this themselves.
Yes, exactly. This is the Mel Martin Museum in Phoenix, and it's really a very impressive museum. It has a wonderful cross-section of early cars. It doesn't focus on just one kind of car. There are literally hundreds of cars here from every era, going back to the teens and going clear up into the 70s. So
right.
No, this is fascinating to see all of the the various makes and models and see them all in the same building. A lot of
Yeah.
museums focus on just one or two things. Mel Martin's museum didn't do that. They said these cars existed across a large period of years, and we're going to have representative samples of it from all those eras. And the examples are particularly well done too. There's a lot of really well done work here on the cars themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's fascinating. Wonderful to have them invite us in to have a look.
Yes.
And if anyone is interested, they're in North Phoenix, 43rd Avenue and Thunderbird.
Yes, I really would
recommend people come have a look.
Highly.
Yeah.
It's really worthwhile.
Very good. Thanks, JB.
You bet.